All right. So, what is up, guys? This is Faye back here, as usual. So, welcome back to my video as well as my channel. All right, great seeing you guys. So, in today's video, we'll be talking about something. Is Today we are going to talk about Genshin Impact. All right, of other videos. All right. So, Genshin Impact's version 3.7 has been landed for a few days. All right, and of course, there are a lot of new stuff, like as well as new events. All right, there are new events, new rewards, and also new trading card games like the G. All right, the updates. All right, so there's also new hangout events, and of course my favorite character Yoimiya's story quest. All right, and so of course there are also new banners. All right, and Yoimiya and yeah, Xingqiu weapon. But besides all of those, today we will talk about we'll be talking about Spiral Abyss, alright, which is the one, yeah, when you actually find out in Mondstadt, alright, like the Musgrave where everyone challenge it when it just got refreshed. So Spiral Abyss has just got refreshed, and there like the new rotation has been rated as one of the hardest high abyss rotation, alright. So everyone was complaining that 412 is very insanely hard, right? And of course a lot of players like they can't pass through like 412 or 411, right? So here I'm just going to like, in this video I'll be mostly talking about 412, all right, since 412 have a bigger issue, all right, for those who actually don't know how to clear, right? So for 411, for those who don't know what team you should actually run, so what team you should actually run is actually pretty simple, right? Just look at chamber tree, alright? Because once you start Abyss, you probably wouldn't want to go through one by one chamber, alright? Most people want to save time and they will like go through all at once instead of just I finish chamber one, I go out, quit, and I play again just to hit chamber two, and then after finish chamber two, I just swap out, I go chamber three. You don't actually have to do that, right? So I would just look forward to chamber three, alright? It's actually pretty simple. Okay, when you see so I afford it actually. So first half is nothing special. All right, all you need is insane single target DPS. So you can have like Hutao or Yoimiya or someone, all right, and then just hit all the boss and teammates on it, right? So for the second half, yes, the three abyss mages was one together. So I've tried playing second half, and what I would say is bring a animal character to break their shields fast, alright, as they are kind of together. No, Kazuha is best, followed by Venti. No, not actually. Kazuha is best, followed by Sucrose, and then by Venti. Alright, because Kazuha and Sucrose have a more constant area sword compared to Venti. Right, so you can throw these three shields together. All right, but however, when you throw these three shields, the Pyro and Cryo Abyss Mage shield will break first, and the Hydro one still remains like a quarter or something. So the team combination is pretty obvious, and after you killing three, they'll spawn another Abyss Herald Wicked Torrents, technically the Hydro Herald, right? So what are you gonna do here is the team is actually pretty simple, alright? You can put a Hydro unit to break three of their shields really quick, and you bring another cryo DPS like Ayaka or Ganyu, or if worse, you can put Rosaria or Chongyu, alright, just to break their shield. Just to break this shield and finish the rest. Right. And also bring a DPS because you might want to kill the Abyss Herald. Alright. So 411 is nothing too much to mention about. Right. So now to 412, which is the most headache and pain as part. Right. So what do we have in 412? Alright. So first we have Chimbo 1. Alright, as you can see, there are Whopper flowers. Haven't been seeing them quite lately. Right. And we have Primal Construct, the Repulsor, Reshaper, and also the Prospector. Or in short words, you can just call them Doritos because yeah, they all just looks the same. Yeah, you can just call them Doritos. Alright. So what's annoying about the first half is they will actually spawn one by one. Um, like as in after kill they spawn one by one instead of like you kill all and they spawn all at once. Alright. So at first you will actually spawn three Whopper flowers. Alright. So what's annoying about the three Whopper flowers is actually like they'll spawn three, alright. So when you kill one of the Whopper flowers, they will spawn another one, right? So if it's like if you kill one, they spawn one. If you kill two, they spawn two, right? If you kill three, only they will spawn the other three. And when only if you kill all Whopper flowers, they will only start like spawning the Doritos, right? So Dor for these Doritos, it also works same as the Whopper flower. It will spawn three at first, alright? If you kill one, they will spawn the other one by one, right? So this is pretty annoying because like it's instead if you count it like three by three each wave, you actually have to fight them like for four waves, which is actually pretty annoying. Therefore, you're having a Kazuha or a Venti is actually pretty time saving for the first half, right? And so for second half, so the team is actually pretty fixed already, as you can see. So the chamber one, you have the Cryo Herald, you have the Hydro Herald, you have the Cryo Abyss Mage, and also the Hydro Abyss Mage. Right, so the team is pretty fixed already, I should say. So first, Bandit Xiangling, of course, is locked. Because don't ask me why it's locked. Like it's pretty obvious, alright. If you want to break the Hydro Shield, I mean Cryo Shield constantly, you need a Xiangling, alright. For what? For like constantly applying pyro off field. Alright, so Xiangling is the one who is most capable of doing this. Right? So and what happens when you put a Xiangling is she'll probably have ER issue. Even though if you stack like 200 or 300% ER on her, even though we run for bonus, she's still gonna have like issues on her, right? So therefore, you want put a bandit in. All right, a bandit can become a healer, all right, and also a buffer and a person who removes debuffs, all right. Because Cryo Hero will apply Cryo on you means that dodging will be slower, all right, and releasing animations will be slower, and also like everything just becomes slower and it consumes more stamina, all right. So therefore, bandit is actually very useful here. Right. So for the Hydro Abyss Mage Shield, there are actually two ways to break Hydro. Alright. So one is the current new element, which is Dendro. Alright. Or another one more directly is you use Cryo, like Ayaka or Ganyu. Right. But for the first half, I will be using Ayaka. Right. So for the second half, I will be using Nahida. Right. Right, so chamber two is somehow friendly, alright. Nothing too special, just brute force through these two things. Alright, nothing to worry about. This is just technically just DPS check, alright. So for chamber three, we have the most annoying constipated beast. I mean consecrated beast or whatever beast. Yeah, these things just give people constipation due to their annoyingness, alright. So we have the dog and we have the croc. Alright. So these two things, you need to kill them together and only they will spawn the next wave. Yes, you heard it right. There are two waves of this thing. Alright, so how annoying these things actually are. I would say very, very annoying. It's either you play permafreeze or you bring a shield. If not, you'll get really fucked up by them. And if you are trying to rely on the bandit heal, good luck because they will 100% push you out of the ring and you need to spend stamina running again into the ring just to heal damage, which is a like time lost and also DPS lost, right? So my best suggestions are is either you play permafreeze or you play with a shield, like you put a Zhongli, Kirara, Leona or something. All right. Okay, and second half we have the new war boss. All right, Iniquitus Baptiste. All right. So what this thing does is it actually have three kinds of elemental shield, fixed rotations. All right. So every time when you break the shield, he gets a short stun, alright, until you break the third shield. So the sequence of the shield will be Cryo first, alright, Cryo comes in first, and then Hydro comes in first, and only Pyro, right? So this means that you technically have to like fix two or three elements in your team, right? Not anything fancy like I can just brute force with like with like Nilo or anyone through this, alright. It doesn't really work. Like you can't really brute force this thing if you don't have the right element. Right? So his shield is just different from the others, alright? If you don't break the shield, you can't do damage to him. Yes, that's the most headache part about it. But however, he is actually quite squishy once you break the shield, right? Once he gets stunned, just throw everything, throw your burst on him, and you should be fine. He will die in really fast, alright. So for me, what will I do is like as said, I'll lock Bandit Xiangling, alright. So Bandit Xiangling will technically just get rid of the crowd and a bit of the Hydro Shield. Alright. So I'll put Nahida, and Nahida will get rid of the Hydro Shield along with the Pyro that Xiangling provide. Right. So for Pyro Shield, I'll put a Xingqiu inside to like actually like to destroy the shield. Right. So in today's rotation video, we are going to be
欲买桂花，
use about Ayaka. We have the Ayaka Dong and where's the
欲
bazooka? Right, we'll be using bazooka too, and lastly, I'll use Rosaria. Right. So first of all, Ayaka is main DPS. All right. So I'll be here are my stats. Right, 62.2, 201, 1.7. Right, 46.6 cryo damage bonus. All right. So to one okay attack. All right. Weapons I'll be running Black Cliff Longsword. All right. For those who don't have this weapon, you can also use a Aminom Kagyuchi. All right. So for artifacts, I'll be running 2+2. Right. So crit rate circlet, cryo damage bonus goblet, attack percent sense. Right. Jade leaf, double crit. Right. Just focus more on crit rate. All right. If you have a Black Cliff Longsword to balance up your crit ratio. Right. So for flower, here's my flower. Yep. So 2+2, 18 plus 18 attack. All right. For constellation, she's on C0. Right. And also triple crown. Right. Next, I have Zhongli. All right, nothing special. It's just a shieldbot Zhongli. Right. So weapon I'll be running Black Tassel. Artifacts will be Tenacity of the Mirror. All right. I'll be running 4 piece and HP percent. Of you offset goblet HP percent too. HP percent like I will just focus everything on HP. Right. Who's this? Alright, so my Zhongli is on C1, alright? So for C1 and C0, the difference isn't really big or like there won't be much like difference or anything. Alright, C0 also works perfectly fine, alright? The whole point of Zhongli here is actually not the 4 piece tenacity, alright? I mean the 4 piece tenacity does provide buffs, but more of it is his shield must be thick enough to tank all the damage. So this thing, alright, the shield itself is the largest buff compared to the 4 piece tenacity, alright. So the shield is actually pretty cracked. Like characters protected by the Jade Shield will decrease the elemental rest and physical rest of opponents in a small AoE by 20%. So this means that if you stick close enough to the enemy, they'll have this elemental rest and physical rest. So which means that this is technically the largest buff overall. Because like this his shield is like so tanky and the shield duration is like so long. Alright, it covers up the cooldown of that thing. So this means that he technically have no downtime for his shield. So it's like the biggest buff overall compared to just 4 piece necessity, alright. Okay, so for his talents, you can just leave the normal attack at level 1. You don't really care about this. Alright, what matters is the shield and the burst. Alright, so what does the burst do is besides just DPS, alright, it has a petrification duration. So it's 4 seconds at level 10 and 3.9 seconds at level 9. Right. So next we have the Kadehara Bazooka. Alright, so Kazuha is just there for elemental buffs, alright? Nothing special, so stack all EM on him. I don't have any crit ratio, I don't even need them. Alright, some ER. Yeah. And next he's running Cyforce Moonlight. I managed to get this weapon from the past two Cyforce banners. Alright. So it's on R4, which is like perfect for this run, as it converts a few of the partial of the EM to ER and converts like a percentage of the ER to other team. Right, so artifacts will be 4 piece Iridescent Venerer. Right, so EM, EM, and EM. Right. For the feather and flower, I also focus more on EM. Right. So for constellations, he's on C0. All right. And for talents, he'll be 9, 9, and 10. Right. 9, 9, 10. Right. Actually, it's just more of a DPS increase if you upgrade the levels. All right. So yeah, for if you want him just for insane damage buffs, yeah, you actually just need the two ascension talents. All right, this thing actually doesn't really matter. It's just more of a DPS increase. All right, but in some cases it also helps a lot. Right. So for the last one in the first half, we have where's Rose? Right. Yeah, Rosaria. All right. So here's my Rosaria. So Rosaria's purpose there is to just to fix cryo resonance. All right, like the extra 15% crit rate against enemy applied by cryo. Right. So she's also there for more crit rate. So to guarantee Ayaka have higher crit rate and can crit more, so lesser DPS loss. Right? So 67 crit rate, alright, 141 ER, 69.4 crit damage, yeah, 61.6 crit. Alright, she's running an R5 over this lens. Alright, and her artifacts, I'm running 2+2 on her, 2 piece Noblesse with 2 piece Blizzard. Right, so crit rate, fire damage bonus, attack percent. You can run ER percent if you think like her ulti isn't charging up as well as good as you expect. Right, so her feather, just some more crit rate, and her flower for more crit. Right. So her constellations are ever on C6, but what really matters is just the C2 as well as the C4. Right. And for her talents, here are talents 7, 9, 11. All you need to focus is actually just the Q if you really want the same materials. If you have extra materials, you can like get a few on the elemental skill. Right. So for the second half, I'll be using Nahida National. Alright. So for Nahida, here are my stats. Alright. 29.5 to 88.9, 129 ER. Alright, 949 EM. Alright, so for those free to play players, try to hit 1k EM as much as you can. Alright, because I mean, a lot of people, you probably heard a lot of people saying like 800 EM is actually sufficient. Alright, you don't have to go too high upon it. Alright, I'll explain again later why this is actually necessary. Right. First, I have Nahida's weapon for the 4-star obtainable weapon from Gacha, Sacrificial Fragments. Alright. For those who don't have, you can actually put other EM weapons like Mappa Mari, but I actually don't have them here. Or worst case, you can just put a Wisif. Right, best R5. Okay, I have her signature weapon here, obviously, but considering the fact that not everyone have this weapon, so I'll try to not use this weapon. So her artifacts, I'll be running on 4 piece deep wood. Okay, so running in EM, or triple EM with some crit and attack on the feather, and also some crit and EM on the flower. Right. So for her constellations, it's running. I'm running C0, right? So 6 10 10, right? That's her talent level for me. All right. I mean 699 also works, right? So let me explain about her. Why I should recommend you all to stack 1k EM instead of like just putting 800 as cap. All right. First, let me talk about two of her ascension talents. One is a level 20, one is a level 60. All right. So what does a level 20 ascension do? This is the one I'm mentioning the most. All right. So stacking 1k EM. Why should we stack 1k EM? All right. Due to this talent says when unleashing illusory heart, means her elemental burst, the Shrine of Maya will gain the following effects. The elemental mastery of the active character within the field will be increased by 25% of the elemental mastery of the party member with the highest elemental mastery. You can gain a maximum of 250 elemental mastery in this manner. So 25% to 250 is technically just 1000. Alright, 25% of 1000 is technically 250. Right? So, but beware of one thing, alright? It says the elemental mastery of the active character within the field is increased by 25% of the elemental mastery of the party member with the highest EM in your party. Alright? So this means that despite it's 949 now, alright, it calculates according to who's highest in your team. And for your information, alright, there are only two characters who can easily hit 1k EM over everything. Right? One is Nahida, one is Kazuha. I mean, of course, you can build other characters, but farming EM artifacts on the flower and the feather RNG will make you cry for your entire fucking life. Right? So it's either you have a 1k EM Kazuha or you have a 1k EM Nahida. And of course, when comparing Kazuha and Nahida together, it's more obvious like for Nahida to have EM as her skill scaling actually scales on EM too, and the scaling is actually double the amount of attack. So it's obviously stacking EM on Nahida more worth it than stacking EM on Kazuha, as the bit of EM won't really help like Kazuha to buff anything, alright. So stacking 1k EM of Nahida technically just allows her to maximize the usage and power of this ascension talent. That's why I recommend stacking 1000 EM compared to just stacking 800. A lot of people might think that, oh, I will just make Nahida on field, and I'll snapshot the elemental burst, and I'll like create another, like I will just create another elemental burst. All right. Okay. So first of all, I'm not so sure whether it's snapshots or not. But another problem is you might have issues getting her like ulti back. All right, that's an issue. All right, you might have problem getting her ulti back because her ulti cost is not like actually really cheap. It's like 50. It's not 40. All right, it's 50. So it's kind of hard. And the way she generate particles is actually quite unique because you need to proc her elemental skill to gain particles. All right, and there are interval for her to generate particles. Right. So that's why I suggest stacking 1k EM, because having a 1k EM Nahida off field, you technically have stable output on Nahida's DPS, alright, and you also have stable buffs for 250 EM. Alright, don't underestimate the amounts of buffs this thing is giving up. Right, it's actually pretty insane. Right, having 250 EM is literally like more than a goblin. That's actually really really crazy. Right, so the level 60 as ascended talent is the one that everyone is saying stacking like 800 of like Nahida EM is actually enough. All right. So what this thing do is actually let me mention here again. All right. So each point of Nahida's EM beyond 200 will grant 0.1% bonus damage and 0.03 crit rate to track counter purification from all schemes. Means her E skill, that thing, that seed when it procs, right? Every EM will just grant her extra damage and crit rate, right? A maximum of 80% bonus damage and 24% crit rate will be granted to destroy common purification in this manner, right? So if you take this and times by 800, so yeah, it's just the maximum amount kept to this, right? That's why the reason everyone is greeding on this. They be like 800 EM is already enough. You don't have to like go beyond 800, all right? And everyone just end up giving crit rate circlet and just expecting her to like DPS and crit more, all right? But for me, the 1k EM buff is relatively more stable, especially when you are playing a Dendro team, right? Because Dendro alone is actually not too good unless you are running a Nilo team, where you have a different bloom multiplier and bloom calculations, right? If you are playing Burgeon, Hyper Bloom, or literally anything, right? EM comes in first place compared to just damage, right? If you are playing reaction based damage like Hyper Bloom, Burgeon, and spread literally anything, EM sometimes matters more than you just stacking like crit. Alright. So therefore I recommend you really stacking 1k EM. Right. So if I swap to a signature weapon, I will probably just get more than 1k EM. Yeah. Almost there. Almost there. Actually swap a few of her feathers, if I'm not mistaken, because I wanted her to have a bit of crit. No, I think I have a backup feather. Yeah, the backup feather for more EM. Right. Yeah, this one here is on my Dendro Traveler. Right, so next we have Bennett. Alright, my Bennett is a healer Bennett. Right, no crit, a bunch of weird crit damage from the substats that I doing one. Right, so 35.9 healing bonus from the circle, 250 ER. Right, so weapons I'll be running for Vonia's R5. And of course, 4 piece Noblies, healing bonus, HP percent goblet, ER sense. We need to confirm that he can get his out every rotation. Alright, so ER sense. Alright. No normal Noblesse Feather and a normal Noblesse Power. So her his constellation will be C5. And talents will be 170. Right, I crown his burst for more heals, also for a slightly higher attack bonus buff. Alright. So next we have Xiangling, the play of the game. Alright, the GOAT, greatest player of all times. Alright. So here are my ratios. 3.8, 133.1, 241 ER, 46.6 parameter. Right. So here is her weapon, the catch, alright, R5. For those who don't have the catch, you can just consider you can just consider getting Forwardness Lens, or if you're Skyward Spine, just use it or something else, right? So I'm running create 4-piece emblem with create circlet, fire damage bonus goblet, ER sense, right, emblem feather, and also emblem. So her constellations will be C6, alright. So C5, C6 doesn't really matter. All matters is the C4 because it extends the Paronado, which is the elemental burst duration, by 40%, which is 4 seconds more. So this thing, 4 seconds makes a really huge difference, means she have lower down time for the burst, and also like higher, what should I say, higher pyro application and higher overall damage. Right, and higher breaking shield effect, of course. So her attack, I will just leave it at level 6, or for those who don't want to level up it, just leave it at level 1 also works. Alright, so for Goba, I left it at level 11. Okay. And for the elemental burst, I will put it at level 12. Alright, so the last one we have Xingqiu. Right, here are my Xingqiu ratios. You can have a look at it. Right, so 68% of crit rate, 135 crit damage, 20 like 257 ER. All right, 66.6% hydro damage bonus. All right, so a lot of you might be wondering where's the attack solo. So yeah, I'm running a sacrificial sword R5. Right, and next I'm running 4-piece emblem of Civ. Right, so crit rate circlet. All right, hydro damage bonus goblet. ER sense. Alright, I'm running ER sense. That's one of the reasons why I have a low attack. Alright, attack. I mean emblem feather. Yeah, and then some emblem forward. So his constellations will be C6. Alright, and his talents. I left it at 1, 12, 12. Yeah, I can't afford to waste any more crowns. I'm running low on crowns. So yeah, that's technically all we have. Alright, all I will be using for this abyss rotation. Alright. So first, as mentioned, we'll have Ayaka, Zhongli, Kazuha, and Rosaria. All right. So next, I will put Nahida National, which is Nahida, Bennett, Xiangling, and Xingqiu. Right, then we're good to go. Right. So Chimbo one. Right. Just take anything that improves your characters. Yeah, just take anything that improves your characters output. Right. So how do I start here is actually if you have a Kazuha or Venti, alright, you don't have to learn like how other videos they run to the back there and they just stand there and like wait for the Whopper files together. Alright, so if you have a Kazuha or Venti, I will teach you actually how now. So first, Zhongli apply shield, Rosaria E, apply cryo, Kazuha hold E, and punch down Q. Right? And then next, Zhongli burst, petrify them for 4 seconds, and then Rosaria burst. Alright, the difference between holding Kazuha and tapping Kazuha E is holding Kazuha E have a larger area to like suck them up actually. So when second wave just spawn, do the same thing again. Alright. Here when the Doritos spawn, do the same thing again, Kazuha can suck them up. Alright, when the second wave of the Doritos spawn, do the same thing again. Alright, don't forget to apply the shield. Alright, that's technically all of it. Like nothing too fancy, nothing too special. Just same thing, repeat. Right, so for second half, Nahida hold E, alright, proc them, run to a Cryo Herald, Q. Alright, Bennett Q, E, Xiangling E, then Q. Okay, you E when you Q but not Q when you E. It's because you have to proc the Xiangling snapshot. Right? So here, right, do the same thing. Alright, all you need to do here is just to keep repeating the same thing. Alright, but you need to make sure one point works, which is your Xiangling and Bennett ulti has to be charged, like has to be always up. Alright, if you don't have like your Bennett or Xiangling up here, you will have a really serious issue when you fight these three things. Right, so the benefits of healer Bennett here is you can really get your character status up, like compared to if you build a non like uh yeah, a non-healer Bennett might have slight issues here. Right, so if you survive the first half of these three things jumping here and there, you'll absolutely be fine after that. Yeah, so as you can see, the Cryo Herald got down, and finally you just use Nahida to like settle off the Hydro Herald. Right. So you see you still have like approximately 10 something seconds or 20 seconds left. Right. So that's technically how you actually pass that chamber, right? So yeah, all you need to do is like whenever you see them trying to burst you, just swap to your Bennett, as your Bennett has the highest HP percent among all of your other characters. Right? But just assume Bennett as a tank, and if your Bennett is low on HP, just try to right click iframe or use elemental burst to dodge the enemy's attack. Alright, so chamber 2, we are fighting chicken. So just do the same thing. Kazuha Q E, Ayaka EQ. Alright, it's only E. Kazuha E again. Apply the buffs. Alright, Q. Rosaria Q. The only thing that you need to pay attention here is probably after your Rosaria Q, and if you proc for Vonius, you will like to swap to Ayaka for Ayaka ultis to rotate faster. But for me, it's fine as long as you can constantly output your damage, right? Without the Ayaka's burst. Right, so technically that's all around 1 minute and something. Alright. So for here, second half, it's nothing too hard, right? So proc this, right? Nahida EQ, alright. Bennett Q, E, and then you Xiangling, and then you swap to Xingqiu, you E, you E. Another thing I forgot to mention is when you have a Xingqiu burst and you want to do the rotations, alright, you remember to QEE, as QEE you can instantly get back Xingqiu's burst, alright, instead of EQE, alright. There's a chance that you might waste the Xingqiu's particles generator from the first E. Right. Alright, so Q, E, then you E. As you can see, I have his burst back again, right? So that's the difference between EQE and QEE, alright? Right. So this is how simple it actually is for chamber 2, alright? So nothing special, just do the same thing, right? So for chamber 3, right? So for first half, yeah, we have the beast. It's annoying. Right, so do the same thing like how you did to the chickens. Alright, but this time you can use zhongDONG's burst to petrify them. As they are not bosses, you can still petrify them. Alright, second wave spawn. Alright, Rosaria QE,
夜明绿光而
Azuha
行，
QE. Alright, Eka E, and start like attack and charge attack to do damage output.
此乃天道。
别想跑！嘿，站立吧！
踏风，风共敌行，
拿下了。
Alright, Kazuha hold E and then Q. We don't have the Q yet, so just E. Alright, Kazuha Q,
夜明天理长驱，
zhongDONG Q.
起
审判，
Alright, that's technically how it is. Alright. So second half, welcome to the Baptist. Alright. So we have 8 minutes and around 3 seconds left. So don't panic. We got all of this under control. Alright. Alright. So get Bennett's burst back. Alright. Xiangling, stay on the bit. Snapshot. Alright.
是成型。
Xingqiu Q. Nahida E Q again.
给你分
Alright, what you're gonna do is wait for a shield to break. Alright, Xingqiu E. E. Alright. You have your burst back. Alright, just keep repeating the same thing.
有大家在身边，伤口就不会痛。收起来吧。记住你了。
Alright.
嗯。哼，见识下师傅的枪法。彩雨流红。蔓延吧。哼。自己智慧。收起来吧，我来保护大家。
Alright, just keep rotating. If you have enough sufficient ER to rotate this, you should be fine.
才。知识成型。手上有点痛。该走攻击了。
Oh, oops. Yeah, I triggered a bug. I triggered a bug. Right? I triggered a bug. Right, but whatsoever, this is actually fine. Alright, this is actually fine. You can still actually pass this. Alright. So that's technically how it actually is, alright. So yeah, that's technically how you actually rotate in this. Right. So I probably should just fix up Nahida's EM for a bit. Alright. So for those who actually like who have the such similar teams and characters, you can actually easily pass this abyss without any issue. Alright. So for Nahida, for those who can stack higher EM and higher attack and crit, so it would be much better. Alright. So yeah, that's technically my advice for this abyss. Alright, so the abyss is actually not too hard. For back to this abyss, is for real, it's not too hard, alright? It's more about challenging how much your skill actually is. Right? Like the amounts of iframes,
玉买桂
using
花
elemental
不再
burst
久
to dodge the
只
debuffs
可惜公
and
主
side effects from the heralds. Alright, and also dodge their damage. Alright. It's everything more to skill based compared to last few abyss where they just did DPS check. Right? So just stay calm. Alright, when you met like yeah, just stay calm all the time. Alright, don't meet situations like enemy attacks and you just got panic and you just start right
为
clicking
辽钢
nonstop.
而造的船
Alright,
遇到港口有
if you
危
if you keep right clicking nonstop, you are losing
也
your
是一切
dash
财富沉淀
opportunity
的
and
地
you're
方
also wasting stamina. Right, so dashing have that one instance of iframe. Alright, so you can use that perfectly to avoid situations where are fatal to your
玉
teams.
买桂花
Right. So that's technically all my advice for this rotation service. Hope those who are still struggling or those who are on the way to 36, wish you all good luck. Alright. So for those who have issues or you need any advice, alright, you can find me on Twitch. Alright. Twitch TV Twitch TV slash fades underscore two. Alright, I'll just post my link in the description below. Right, so you can see me when I was about to stream, or you can join my Discord for any news update. All right. Yeah. Discord is technically half dead. Yeah. So, all right. So that's all I want to say in this video. So thank you guys for watching here, and I will see you in my next video. Right. Peace.